All right, welcome back as we continue once again alternating news desk on location so you can get a better feel of what's taking place post-Ida. Joining us now, Miss Wendy Thibodeaux, the assessor of Lafourche Parish. How are you doing, Wendy?
Very good.
Good. I hadn't seen you in a while, but seems like storms bring out everybody, don't they?
They certainly do.
Yeah. Tell me what's going on in Lafourche with the damage assessment, and how do y'all assess all that? I'm sure it keeps you pretty busy.
Yes. Well, 48 hours after the Ida passed through, I had our aerial photography vendor. He had 9 planes out in the air taking aerial photography of all of the properties and the damage throughout Lafourche. That took about 2 weeks to complete. We've received that initial information. What could be sent through internet was sent to internet, and we're waiting for the final product with the layers and so forth on through mail. But what we're going to do during that time that we were getting, the people back home and the electricity back on, I was calling assessors in Florida, in St. Bernard, in Livingston, in Calcasieu, Cameron parishes, and finding out, just picking their brain on what they did during their hurricanes, flood, what worked, what didn't work, to try and get a better assessment on my role as the assessor moving forward for Lafourche. So now we're in the process of looking at the information and coming up with depreciation, obsolescence, removal of destroyed homes and businesses, and deducting that from the 2021 tax roll. It's only going to be structures and personal property, business personal property. It won't be applied to the land.
So in other words, if you assess that everyone in Lafourche had roof damage, that would be a baseline, so to speak. Then you go from there?
It's going to be a foundation, like more than just the actual damage. What I'm going with is more of an area, because what's so unique about Lafourche Parish is the geographical layout.
Right.
It's not as compact as these other parishes are. So I had to take some procedures that worked in certain parishes and apply it to the northern part of the parish, another procedure and to the central part of the parish, and then another procedure.
Yeah, Golden
to the
Meadow
south.
may look a little different than Lafourche.
Yes.
I mean
Thibodeaux.
Thibodeaux.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is going to look different. Just from a starting point, it's going to be basically from the intercoastal down is going to be one area of assessment, and then from the Highway 90 to the intercoastal is going to be another. From the Thibodeaux line to Raceland is going to be another, and in Thibodeaux, I'm going to have to break that down a little bit more in depth. The areas in Des Allemands, Bayou Buff, and the Hamilton, Gemini neighborhood that all took on water and sustained wind damage, that's going to be assessed separately as well.
So assessing the lines really for you was the most crucial part.
Yes.
So where the cutoff is on those lines. I mean, but you have to put a line somewhere.
Yes.
Sometimes, most of the time it works for somebody, and sometimes it may not work for somebody.
So my whole goal in the Lafourche Parish Assessor's Office moving forward is to have this as easy, as simplified, and as least burdensome on the homeowner or business owner as possible. They have enough to contend with right now. Adjusters, insurance, contractors. I don't want to be another line item on their list of things to do. So this is my procedure moving forward. That is my job, my responsibility as the assessor to do this, and I'm going to do my job and make it as least burdensome on people as possible. We got them. We got this. We got this.
So if you make a line between, I'm going to just pick some, Golden Meadow and Galliana, and somebody in Galliana says, well, I got one of these strong things, and they bring you evidence, you're not going to kill them on that.
No.
Right. I want to make sure they hear
yes,
this.
Yes,
Yeah.
This is just the first step in the process. Me and my staff, we are gonna go through and depreciate and give obsolescence and remove structures that have been demolished and destroyed. We're gonna remove that first. That's just the first phase of this. I'm anticipating finishing that sometime in January, the end of January. We will send out notices at that point to everyone. And then they will be able to see what I took off, what depreciation has been applied and adjustments have been applied to their property. And at that time, they will be able to send in electronically their information, any pictures, mostly documents, FEMA documents, insurance documents, invoices, receipts. At that point, they'll be able to send it in. And if it is greater than the depreciation that I've already taken off in the first phase of this, then that'll be applied in addition to that.
But that's nothing they have to worry about today or tomorrow. You're going to give them a little time to,
Yes.
because like you said, they're under the gun right now.
Yes.
So just take a deep breath and take your time.
Relax. We got this. It's more important for them to get their roof up. It's more important for them to get the kids back in school. It's more important to, put their walls back up and so forth. I don't want them worried about their property taxes. I'm anticipating the notices to go out in February. So by that time, the majority of everybody should have at least a process started in their homes, and then we'll take it from there.
Probably in your situation, you see a lot of people who at one point, let's just be realistic, probably say, I'm done. I'm out of here. What would a percentage be on, do you have any percentages on how many people would actually say, I'm going to leave this area?
Statistically, it's approximately 25% of people and businesses that leave, and you never recover that in your tax base. I spoke with people in St. Bernard Parish, and when Katrina hit, they had 75,000 population. It is now at 35 population, and the max they can get to is 55 population. Like that 25,000 will never be recovered. Never.
That's cold, hard reality.
It is.
And that affects everything.
Everything. It affects your economy. It affects our tax base and how our governmental services are going to be funded, and how the adjustments that all of us have to make with that decline.
When you say leave, because you just sort of stunned me, but when somebody in Golden Meadow may say, okay, I'm pretty close to ground zero here, I may move North Terrebonne, a little further up Lafourche Parish. Do they move in the parish, or do they just leave?
I'm hopeful that they'll move and they'll stay in the
find high
parish.
ground
I'm
in the
hoping.
parish, yeah.
But because of the geographical layout of Lafourche, I am hopeful that the people in the southern part, if they do decide to leave, I mean, I hope they are able to, rebuild their homes and stay where they're at right now. But if they do choose to leave, that they come up to Thibodeaux or to Raceland, or more northern part of the parish, so that they stay in Lafourche. I want as many residents and businesses to stay, because it's quite an adjustment just going through a hurricane, much less, and losing everything, much less moving to a whole nother parish, a whole nother culture, a whole nother, neighborhood.
And I guess that's why you've always sort of looked to make things easy on people, and to try to, let me cut everything I can cut and still get monies in to make them want to stay.
Yes. So one of the things that I'm doing this year is for 2021, my office, the Assessment District of Lafourche Parish, is not levying any millage for the 2021 tax year. My office is going to run off of the surplus, my savings, and that is my contribution to the people, to help them keep that little bit of money so that they can rebuild their lives. And if that's what I can do, I'm doing everything possible to make this as simplified as possible.
And that's important. What about a person who sustains a lot of damage? They got to move. That's their homestead. They got to buy another homestead to get to another place, have a roof on their head. How do you do that? Because we only get one homestead exemption.
Correct. Well, there are laws that were implemented after Hurricane Katrina. So if they live in, if they move to a new house, they can move their homestead there if they choose so. But if they don't, and they want to keep it on their original home that does have damage, they can keep it at that point. But you can only have one. You can't have two.
So anybody out there watching this says, okay, this is a catastrophe, I'm going to get both homestead exemptions. The answer is no.
No, you can't
Unfortunately.
get both. No, unfortunately, that's a constitutional amendment, and that would require a vote of the people. And I just think it gets too complicated when that is implemented.
Yeah. What has this taught you as an assessor? You're always bouncing around numbers, and you're always trying to, I know you're always trying to save people money and give them a positive spirit. Then Ida roars through, and that eastern quadrant was over y'all for a long time. You got to be probably dulling a lot of pencils trying to figure out how to best help these people that just got rolled over.
I'm a bean counter, so like the numbers never stop going through my head.
Yeah.
And the first month, it really took a toll on me personally, just because, you know, I want to do what's right. I want to do what's best. I want to do what's simplified. And that's why I don't know everything. And that's why I took that time and picked other assessors' brains to figure out what worked, what was easiest for the people, what didn't work, you know, and that's why I ruled out the Florida model, because they're just not like us here in Louisiana.
Right.
So I have gotten a lot of help from the other assessors and their situations. So we kind of come together as a family. The assessors are no different than Golden Meta, than Lafourche, than
Right.
Terrebonne. So
Yeah. Did you learn a lot from talking to Lake Charles?
yes, a lot, because you know, the federal government, when you speak to people in St. Bernard, the federal government was very quick to respond.
Right.
What I'm learning is that they weren't quick to respond to Lake Charles and Cameron and Calcasieu parishes. So what that taught me is that I have to be prepared for the long haul. This is not going to be a 365-day fix. This is going to be a 5 to 10 year fix. And it taught me that I needed to get my patients ready, because, you know, everybody's emotions are very raw. Some people have lost their homes and every memorabilia that they've ever had.
Right.
And I spoke to my staff and made sure that they understand that, to have a lot of patience, and that we are going to just try and be as helpful as we can within the means of the law.
And that's nice of you to do that. That's why they love you out there in Lafourche. Keep
Thank
up
you.
the great work,
Thank you.
Wendy. We appreciate it, and thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, there you have it. Wendy Thibodeaux, the assessor of Lafourche Parish. Some good news. I mean, if you can hear the good news in that, she's going to help you out in Lafourche Parish. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with a lot more right here on Bayou Time. Don't go away.